We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. We must remember always that accusation is not proof, and that conviction depends upon evidence and due process of law. We will not walk in fear one of another. We will not be driven by fear into an age of unreason if we dig deep in our history and our doctrine, and remember that we are not descended from fearful men.
I would rather see my little girls die now, still believing in God, than have them grow up under communism and one day die no longer believing in God.
I was worried more than anything else, above everything else, about the possible outbreak of a nuclear war. Because both we and the Soviet Union, as you know, had enough nuclear weapons to completely destroy each other, but also maybe to cause a nuclear holocaust throughout the world. And I used to go into my Oval Office early in the mornings, and I had a big globe there, and I would turn it to Moscow, and I would try to put my mind in the same frame that I thought Brezhnev might have. I put myself in his shoes to make sure that I didn't do or say anything that would cause him to be fearful or paranoid enough or embarrassed enough to launch a nuclear attack. And so that was a constant concern of mine that, thank goodness, doesn't prevail now in nearly so vivid a fashion.
Always in the background there has been the atomic bomb.
The issues of this election are the maintenance of peace and prosperity. The line has been used, we've never had it so good. But I have an uncomfortable feeling that this prosperity isn't something on which we can base our hopes for the future. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening.
America's no fragile thing, but the gains of our long journey to freedom are not assured.
The greatest evil is not done now in those sordid dens of crime that Dickens loved to paint. It is not even done in concentration camps and labor camps. In those, we see its final result. But it is conceived and ordered, moved, seconded, carried, and minuted in clear, carpeted, warmed, and well-lighted offices by quiet men with white collars and cut fingernails and smooth-shaven cheeks who do not need to raise their voice.
We can deny our heritage and our history, but we cannot escape responsibility for the result. There is no way for a citizen of a republic to abdicate his responsibilities. As a nation, we have come into our full inheritance at a tender age. We proclaim ourselves, as indeed we are, the defenders of freedom wherever it continues to exist in the world. But we cannot defend freedom abroad by deserting it at home.
The greatest weapon in the American arsenal is unity. Unity of purpose behind great concepts. A unified determination to stand before the world as morally strong, honest.
Must contemplate the day when this planet may no longer be habitable. Every man, woman, and child lives under a nuclear sword of Damocles, hanging by the slenderest of threads, capable of being cut at any moment by accident or miscalculation or by madness. The weapons of war must be abolished before they abolish us.
Cassius was right. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves. Good night, and good luck.